everyone out there in YouTube land, it is Craig from Flying Wheels. Today I am in quite a predicament because I have some family members that need cars. The video of the day is going to explain why you should never buy your family a vehicle. Alright, let's start off with the question of the day. As always, look around, take a good look. What kind of car am I driving today? That's the game we always play. Comment below with your guesses, 10 points to the right winner. Okay, so today I have two family members that need vehicles. I own a car dealership. I have my dealer's license. I'm obviously the go-to guy when somebody needs a vehicle. The problem is, owning a car dealership, they expect to get a deal, which means I have to buy a car at a deal so I can take it back to my shop, service it, repair it, detail it, still pay all my overhead, and then give it to them at cost because they expect to get it at cost, right? Because they're family. Okay, so I'm doing everything today for free. I'm at the auction. I need to find two cars. I'm hunting down the cars. I got here early, an hour and a half early. I hunted through 500 plus cars to try to find the cars that would best fit my two family members, my wife's grandmother and my wife's mother. So even worse, it's not my family, it's my in-laws. So I have to pick the cars that I think they would like best because neither of them want to come here. I have a video about getting into an auction and taking family members to an auction. If you want to see that video, you can click the link right here. So my wife's mother wants a car. She forgot to change the oil in her Jeep Liberty, and now she needs another SUV because she blew the engine up. She has a short amount of money, under $6,000, and then my wife's grandmother needs a car because her '03 Ford Focus is rusting out and barely should be on the road anymore. So I say, what kind of car do you guys like? They say, oh, I don't know, whatever, you guys pick. So now I have to pick the car that I think they would like. Now, if I pick the right car and they do like it, every time they have a problem, they're going to tell me everything, every problem they've ever had with it. Every time they change the oil, fix the brakes, they're going to tell me, oh, my car needed brakes. So for the life of the ownership of that vehicle for them, I'm going to hear about it. Now, in the best case scenario that they don't like the car, I spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on two cars each, and they don't like them, I get stuck with them. Now I have to try to clean them, fix them, sell them so I can make my money. Both are good people. They don't ask for freebies. But if I make a profit off of them, I'll feel guilty. And if they find out I made a profit off them, then my wife gets upset. So realistically, I have to do all this work for free. I have to spend my entire day at the auction hunting down a car. I have to take it back to my shop, pay my mechanic to fix it, take away from the other customers that are actually paying customers to fix their cars, to fix my family's cars. Then I have to pay my detailer guy to detail the car. Again, take away from the cars that I'm going to sell for profit so I can clean these cars for free. And then I have to sell it at cost to my family members. So this is what happens when you own a car dealership and friends and family ask to buy a car. Today I'm at the auction. We're going to go through the cars, check them out, look at them, and see what we end up with. Hopefully I get to today, otherwise I have to do the whole process again next week. My grandmother-in-law wants a new Ford Focus. So here we go, 2015, 43,000 miles, but they don't want to spend more than $5,000. So they want a new car for under $5,000, which means they're going to get a used car with higher miles. Well, she's an old lady. She only drives 70,000 miles since 2003 already, which means to get under $5,000, I'm going to have to buy a newer car with that 70,000 miles, which she's already bitched about because she wants a low mileage car. We have a 15 with 43,000 miles. Oh, but it's a standard, so this one won't work. I have a 2013 Ford Fusion with 77,000 miles, which is the same miles as her Ford Focus, but it's a bigger car, so she probably won't like it because it's too big. So if she doesn't like it, I get stuck with it. So no Ford. I have a 2012 with 89,000 miles. Automatic tires look like they've been replaced. Higher miles than her current Ford Focus, so she will probably bitch about it. I'm going to go on a limb, gamble, and bid on it, and if I get it, I have to hope she's okay with the mileage, but it should be within her price range. Here lies the next problem. Here's a 14 Focus with 33,000 miles going up in just a minute, but I already bought her a Ford Focus, so this one is probably a better choice for her. Do I buy this one, and now I have two Ford Focuses for her to choose from, but it ties up my money twice, or do I just stay away and keep the original? Here is a 2011 Chevy Cruze with 103,000 miles. This person I think would be a great choice for her. I did end up buying that Chevy Cruze for $2,600, so now at least she has some choices. Unfortunately, that first Ford Fusion, I overpaid for it, so I paid too much thinking it's a good car for her. If she doesn't like it, then I'm stuck with it and I have to mark it up even more to resell and get my money back. Alright, enough with my grandmother-in-law. She's done. Next is on to my mother-in-law. She wants something like this, a 2016 Ford, what the heck are these things called? Escape. This is a 16 with 39,000 miles. The problem is this is going to be way over her budget. So I have to find something like that with good miles in her budget. Not happening on that car, so now I have to continue the search. Something more in her range would be a 13, what are these things called? Terrain with 117,000 miles. Already too much money. $6 grand for that one. Here is a gamble. It's a 2014 Mitsubishi Endeavor with 112,000 miles. So now these cars aren't that popular, so I could probably get it a little less expensive, and it's still a 2012 with decent miles and leather interior, automatic, and all-wheel drive. But I'm sure she has no idea what a Mitsubishi Endeavor is, so I have to try to sell her on liking this too. 5,000. Still too much for me to gamble on if she's going to like it or not. Pressure's on, pup. At the end of the day, haven't found mother-in-law a car yet. I don't think it's happening either. This vehicle I'm sitting in is the exact example of why you do not buy family and friends vehicles. I'm in a 2011 Chevy Cruze with 102,000 miles. I would have never come and bought this car for myself or my dealership, but I thought it might be a good fit for my great-grandmother, so I ended up buying it. I thought I got a great deal on it. I didn't get a chance to look at it ahead of time. Yes, I should have. I know you guys are all going to comment that. It was something running through that I thought was just a good deal at the time. Let's back up. Oh, nice. There's no effing reverse. Some scumbag wholesaler, not a used car dealer, not a new car store, scumbag wholesaler that buys these things, know there's no reverse, and then runs it through the auction. So this guy test drove it from the new car dealership, bought it wholesale from the car dealership as a trade-in, paid probably pennies on the dollar because he knows that it didn't have a reverse, and then he runs it through the auction and doesn't rep it with the claim that it has no reverse. So he sold it as a good car. It sold red light because it has over 100,000 miles, 2,000 miles, over 100,000 miles. So it's as is. It's my fault. I should have test drove it. But he ran it through, made a fortune because he bought it knowing it had no reverse, and I bought it thinking it had a reverse for my great-grandmother. Now, does she get stuck with it? No. I get stuck with this problem, and I have to figure out what the hell to do with it now. So to recap the day, I didn't find anything for my mother-in-law, so I have to go back again and repeat this process. I spent the entire day at the auction shopping for other people, didn't buy anything for myself, cost me money for my entire day, cost me money by not buying cars for myself in my lot, and also I bought a car with a bad transmission. Today could not have been a better example of why you should never, ever go to the auction to buy cars for friends or family. I spent the entire day today at the auction hunting down vehicles for family members. I bought nothing for myself. So when I normally buy 4 or 5 cars for myself, I might make $1,000 to $2,000 per car. That's a $10,000 day. I bought nothing. I spent the entire day at the auction so I could buy 1 car for 1 person to sell at cost after I fix it and I detail it. I also couldn't find a car for my mother-in-law, so I have to find something next week and do this whole process over again for her next week. Now, back to my grandmother-in-law. I specify in certain vehicles, and it's not Ford Focuses and Chevy Cruzes. I bought 2 vehicles. 2 cars I never would have bought myself from my car lot. The Ford Focus, I think, might be a winner for her, but the Chevy Cruze is a total loser for me because it has no reverse. Now I'm stuck with the car. I either, 1, fix the reverse for $1,000+, or I repeat the process and screw someone else over in the auction. So I'm not the bad guy. The bad guy is the first person that runs that car through. They knew full well there was no reverse on that car. They ran it through. I got stuck with it, so they screwed me over. Now I'm left with 2 options. I pay the money to fix it, or I screw someone else over. The only person that's going to win is the first person that sells it and the auction, because they get auction fees over and over and over again. What would you guys do? First of all, would you ever do this for a family member? Would you sell it to them for free, or would you sell it to them with a markup? Would you make a profit off of your family or friends? The other thing, this Chevy Cruze, would you fix it and sell it, or would you run it through the auction and take the loss, or hopefully break even? So I hope you guys all learn from my mistakes so you don't make the same mistake. I already know full well going into this what I'm in for. I already know full well when people ask me to buy them a car or take them to the auction. I know what's going to happen, and today was the perfect example of it and why. So hopefully you learn from my mistakes. The question is, how do you say no to family and friends? They don't see the back end of what you're going through. Today was the perfect example of what you go through and the headaches and the stress you have buying people vehicles. So do you continue doing it, or do you just say, no, I'm sorry to everybody, and let them go to someone else and have them be offended up front? I'm curious to how you guys handle these things. So there's a few things wrong with this situation of buying cars for friends and family, hunting down them, brokering them, whatever. When you go out and buy cars for friends and family, there is no money to be made in it for you. It's only time-sucking waste and money wasted for you to do this. It is a huge favor that goes very unappreciated for family and friends. When you go to the auction, you spend the whole day there. You look at hundreds of cars for them. You spend all of your money in hopes, your money, because they don't give you the money up front. All of your cash to tie up into a car for them, wait for them to come buy it if they like it, if there's no problems, if you've fixed everything. Then after they buy it, God forbid they actually like it, then for the rest of that vehicle's life, you're warrantying it for them. Every time something goes wrong, you have to hear about it. Every time something breaks, you have to hear about it. The day you sell it is the best it's ever going to be. It's only going to get older. It's only going to get more miles. And you're going to hear about it for the rest of your life. And if you don't, you're going to feel guilty about it every time they do talk about the repairs that they've had to put into that vehicle. Don't do it. What I do recommend is selling off your lot. You have good, clean, inspected, service, detailed cars. Get your money for it. Sell a good car to a good person. If they don't appreciate it, they shouldn't be buying from you anyway, all right? You're doing them a favor just by selling them a car. I have never had a family member or friend come up to me a year and a half later and say, hey, thank you so much for that car that you sold to me at cost. I love it. I love everything about it. I appreciate it so much. That doesn't happen. But what you do hear is everything that they've had to do to that car since. Is my dog taking a dump in the background? No. I barely get a thank you when they do actually buy the car. Oh, good, thanks. They don't know how much work they put into that car. They have no idea how much you invested and how much money you actually spent to buy them that car. They're going to look at it and pick it apart after you buy it. You're going to have to sell them on the fact of why they want this car that you bought for them at cost. If this video was at all entertaining or educational for you guys, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this video so hopefully I can get paid 0.0007 cents per view and maybe one day recoup my money on that bad transmission. Otherwise, thanks everybody. You can follow us on Instagram at flying_wheels_, and don't forget to subscribe to all of our videos on YouTube. Thanks everyone. See you later.